In the story, you saw a couple moments worth of motivation and inspiration, but it did not come from myself. When you're younger, you don't really think about being motivated. I'm not like, wow, I'm really motivated today. I'm gonna go study for my exam. No, it's like, red alert guys, we got an exam coming in hot. We gotta go do something about this. So that motivation and inspiration, that came from someone else. That came from Mr. McGuigan. He recognized my strengths. He recognized my potential. He saw what I couldn't see, and he believed in me. Now I want you to think about that quote up there. Success is not just about what you accomplish in your life. It's about what you inspire others to do. Now I'm gonna tell you a little secret that goes with this quote. Fulfillment does not come from simplistic measures. It comes from acts that take hard work, energy, and time. It takes an immense amount of energy to be vulnerable and accept that no one owes you for the good deeds that you are about to do. But it will create fulfillment. Okay, we want to be recognized for the things that we do, but that creates minor satisfaction. Inspiring someone, believing in someone, caring about someone's well-being, unrecognized is what creates fulfillment in your life. That is what leaves a mark on someone's heart. And it's hard because we want to see instant results. We crave it as human beings, but it's not always there, and it's not always evident. And I want you to think about someone who has been in your life that has affected you kind of like Mr. McGuigan did. There has to be someone. Someone has motivated you, someone has inspired you, someone has uplifted you. I guarantee you can think of that one person, but at the time, you weren't thinking that they were doing that for you. You weren't like, wow, you're really motivational, man. I'm probably gonna remember this later in life. No, you're probably just like, he's a cool guy, he's a cool girl. I like that. But just know that you can be that person for someone. You can be that person that motivates and inspires and uplifts them. What will you do to ensure that that you are working for their future outcome? What are you going to do every day that displays care and kindness and generosity for them? How are you going to fulfill yourself and their lives? So now what about the students who don't want your help? And what about the students that you think are excelling way beyond everyone else? You're like, wow, I need to give that person extra attention. Now this is where open-mindedness becomes essential, because we cannot see what people are thinking, but we can empathize with their feelings. And this is why we cannot close our minds off to anyone, because you do not know their circumstance. You don't know what they're going through right now. But a simple act of kindness, asking how their lunch was, noticing that your student's head is on the desk and saying, hey, is there anything I can do to help? Offering resources because you see that your student is falling behind and saying, I want to help you, I can offer this tutoring, I can stay after class, whatever it is. Those acts of kindness can save someone's life. That open-mindedness can save someone's life. This is a statistic from the National Institute of Mental Health. This side of the room represents adults that live with a mental illness, okay? This is 20% of the people that you can come into contact with that represent a mental illness. Now I do this because I want you to see that while there is a majority over here, there are still people over here on this side, which is why being open-minded is extremely important. Now that second statistic, an estimated 49.5% of adolescents, that's ages 13 to 18, in 2016 had a mental disorder. That's huge. That's half of the people in this room, representative. This is why it's crucial to be open-minded. Which brings me to the awesome point of ending the stigma. So when we think about ending the stigma, we think about mental disorders. But I need you to know that the stigma is not just surrounding the invisible illness, which is what I call it, because you cannot always see someone with a mental disorder like you can see someone in a wheelchair or with crutches. The stigma surrounds the significance of mental health in general. And it's so crucial because your mental health controls every single aspect of your life. What do you think pumps your heart? Your brain, your 4-pound brain in your head. What makes the decision to go to the gym? What makes the decision to be kind to your students? Your brain. This is why mental health is crucial. And how do we end the stigma? Well, that starts with us. That starts with doing things like these and being open-minded. And your first step is to educate yourself. And you guys are in a perfect situation because you are in the education system where students are not only learning what's in the books and what you're teaching them, they're learning more about themselves and they're working to understand themselves. And as mentors and role models and teachers, you can help them through that. And by educating yourself, I don't mean being, going to get a PhD in psychology or anything. That's not what you need to do. All you have to do is know some simple stuff. What is mental health? What are some statistics? And your second, and this is huge, your second task is to focus on your mental health. Because your mental health can affect someone else's mental health. Let's think about that situation when we come into contact with someone, you're feeling joyful, you're like, yeah, you just clicked your heels about 2 seconds ago, you're so happy. And then you come into contact with someone who's just really down. And then you kind of feel down too. And then you start asking why the sun is so bright. And you start asking why Becky's wearing that shirt with those shoes. And you just have these negative comments flowing through you. Now imagine you bring that negativity into your classroom. What are your students going to do? They're looking to you. They're looking to you as their mentors, as their teachers, as their role models. And they're looking for that positive energy and that positive atmosphere. And when you bring that positive energy, your classroom is going to be amazing. Everything's going to be great. The year's going to go awesome. There's going to be some, ups and downs, but your students are going to vibe with that energy. You come in the classroom with a negative attitude, and it's a downward spiral. And I need you guys to know this, and this is huge. Everyone has bad days. We all have bad days. But remember, you guys are in the situation where you get to help others every single day. That's amazing. I wish I could do that. I wish I was as lucky as to be in the classroom as my job helping other people. That's amazing. Now, I talked a lot about your students, but what about you guys? Because your well-being is so important. 2 things. Love yourself. Now, I want you to take a second, because I don't know how often anybody else does this. I do this like every single, day, looking in the mirror. I need you to tell yourself, wow, I really love you. You're amazing. I love myself so much. Oh my God, look at myself, I'm amazing. Just, you gotta do that sometimes. Sometimes you gotta stare in the mirror and be like, wow. Because that good feeling, it's amazing. And it makes you feel better and it brings that positive energy out. Think about this quote. When there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do you no harm. Have you ever considered what that enemy might be? That enemy is the judgment that we create for ourselves and the choice to not love ourselves. When we judge our imperfections, our mishaps, our mistakes, our failures, whatever it may be, we forget to love ourselves. And I need you to remember this. We are all uniquely perfect in our own way because as individuals, we are beautifully broken. And that is why you have to love every single aspect of yourself. Because the person next to you is just as broken as you are, but in their own way. Now your second thing is to dream big, and I use dream big in 2 forms. As you can see, it's an acronym, but it's also the literal sense of dreaming big. How big are your dreams? When you think about your goals and your aspirations, how big are they? Can they be bigger? Can you write down on a sheet of paper and say, I could do more? Of course you can. We can always do more. And it's okay to accept the circumstances as they are, but you have to have faith in them becoming better. And that's where believing greatness comes in. B-I-G. Dream, and when you dream, believe in greatness. Believe in your greatness. Believe in your students' greatness. Just believing in greatness in general and having faith in them and you will create an atmosphere of success. Now I want you to imagine this. And you're gonna come into contact with this, I guarantee you. A student wearing a cast. I saw one every week. Accidents, football, sports, whatever it was, someone was wearing a cast. Now, do you think that student was embarrassed to wear that cast? No way. No, they were asking for signatures. I was honored when people would be like, can you sign my cast? I'm like, yeah, of course, yeah, cool. And then I sign it, and you know why it's not embarrassing? It's because that cast does not represent weakness. That cast represents healing. Now this shirt, this represents my cast. I'm not embarrassed to wear this shirt. I'm proud because this cast is not representing weakness. It's representing healing. Healing from my past, healing from my present, and looking forward for my future. So will you sign my cast? Thank you for having me, everybody.